relationships. We knew the relationship between Tom Brady and Bill Belichick was strained leading up to the quarterback's departure for Tampa Bay. But just how bad? We're now getting even more details thanks to excerpts from the book It's Better to Be Feared by ESPN senior writer Seth Wickersham have been released ahead of Sunday's Patriots-Buccaneers game at Gillette Stadium. Brady called it telling that the goodbye with Belichick came over the phone rather than in person when Belichick said he wasn't available to meet face to face. Wow. Kimberly Martin's still here with us after 20 years. Stephen A., if that is true, that Bill and Tom broke up over the phone, what's your reaction to that?
It's unfortunate, very believable. If you remember when the news broke that Tom Brady was leaving the Patriots, we were right here on the set, and I reported, based on a couple of sources that I had, that if Bill Belichick had wanted Tom Brady to stay in New England, he would have stayed. And Tom Brady, if he was willing to stay, they would have worked it out. It wasn't about money. It was about the fact that Bill Belichick didn't want him there anymore. He wanted to move on. The reasons are the reasons. Bill Belichick's greatness cannot be questioned. He's an 8-time champion. 6 as a head coach, 2 as a coordinator. We know what he brings to the table. But we also know that a lot of his success and his greatest success came from Tom Brady being his guy. And I think one of the things that I've religiously stated, and I will stick to this point forever and always, particularly in a capitalistic society, everybody ain't equal. We need to get the hell over that. That's what makes America great. That's why people go through so many hoops to come over to this country, because they have dreams and aspirations that they can achieve, not just the normal average thing that somebody can achieve. They can ultimately go for it all. You can be things that you never dreamed you'd be able to be in your wildest dreams. And so when we think about that, we have to take that into consideration when it comes to all of this. Tom Brady is Tom Brady. He's not just anybody. He's not just anybody. And when you have a guy, no matter how successful and great he is, no matter how much he assisted in the greatness that Tom Brady put forth, when you have a guy that's so rigid, that's so stubborn, and so sold on his own convictions that you can't gumption up the nerve to somewhat modify or alter your way of thinking or your way of doing things for this individual, it sends the message that to you, no one is special. And ultimately, somewhere in life, that will come back to bite you, because people who are special because they strive to be special, and they don't want to be treated like they're just anybody else.
Right. Can I piggyback that?
Yeah, sure.
I would just say this. Be glad it was a phone call, because with Belichick, I'd expect it would be a Post-it note, like some Sex in the City type stuff. Because what we've seen from Bill, he's an android. He does not have feelings. He does not show feelings. He doesn't want you to see feelings. And that is part of how he's been able to move about and coach the way he has, because it is a business. At the end of the day, the ways in which he benches guys, how he talks to certain guys in practice, how he talked to Tom a lot of times, that is who Belichick is. So there's a difference between is the phone call right and is it expected? Because no, as Steven said, Tom Brady is built differently. We're talking about greatest of all time different. So no, he deserved a little bit more than a phone call. But on the flip side, that doesn't surprise me at all that Belichick wouldn't meet, if this is true, Belichick wouldn't meet face to face, because I am turning the page on you. It is that X that says it's me, not you. This is just not working anymore. I gotta go. Like he turned the page and moved on. So I'm not surprised at all.
Yeah, but sometimes when your ex dump you, they can look stupid as hell. And that's what Bill Belichick looks right now. Because the bottom line is this. Like, for you to spend 20 years with this man and experience this type of success, and you can't get a meeting? If Tom Brady tried to reach out and meet with Bill Belichick, and Belichick only wanted to take a phone call, that's stupid. Okay, like we could talk about the stone face. Look, I played for a Belichick guy in Nick Saban. I played for a guy that the same class of guys with Bill Parcells in the NFL, with Nick Saban in college when I played for him at LSU. The bottom line is what Stephen A. said, and this is something Nick Saban used to tell us all the time. Everybody be treated fair, but everybody ain't equal. That's the bottom line. Like Bill Belichick, he owed a face-to-face meeting with Tom Brady.
Absolutely.
Because Bill Belichick, and look, this is not to take away anything from him being a great coach. Two things can be true. Bill Belichick was the GM and the head coach. He deserves a lot of credit for what transpired in in New England. But we also know that Tom Brady had a lot to do with that, and a lot to do with how that team functioned, from not only from a football on the field standpoint, but from a contract standpoint, allowing guys to be around him. Belichick had tremendous players. There's a lot of guys through that 20-year span that's going to get gold jackets, and some that already have them. So this is not to discredit Bill Belichick's career and the success that he's had. But the bottom line in this particular situation, when we're talking about the greatest player to ever play the game, that ain't nothing you sneeze at. And if somebody gonna get on anything and say that Bill Belichick shouldn't have met with Tom Brady because he was through with him, they stupid too. Yeah. Swagoo calling you stupid.
No, you're so right. It's extremely weak and it's disrespectful.
Yeah.
And it's low character.
Well, let me say this to you. Hold on. Let me say this to you. As we all know, there are things that go on behind the scenes that we may not be aware of as it pertains to their direct communication with one another. We also have to remember that Bill Belichick had Tom Brady in his 20s, like Alex Guerrero said, his trainer. We have to remember something very, very important here. When Bill Belichick inherited Tom Brady didn't have Giselle. Why is that so important? Because I'm talking to two ladies up here. I'm going to keep it real with you. You understand what I'm saying? Y'all got cachet, damn it. What y'all feel matters. And the reality of the situation is that you will alter a man's life in a very, very good way. However, that good way for him might not be that good way for Bill Belichick. Because Bill Belichick once had control of the dude, want to come in, first one to leave, first one to arrive, last one to leave, no commitments during the day, but other than you and all of this other stuff. And now you got to share them. You don't know what kind of impact that may have had. In the end, though, here's what it comes down to. We could say anything we want, and we all feel the same way because it's Tom Brady we talking about. But where it really, really hits home is this. Oh, Bill Belichick, you better win, brother. You better win. Because that android that you're talking about, I must admit, I'm telling you right now, I've seen Bill Belichick at Celtics games. Oh, he's got passion then. He don't look like an android then. He's having a good old time when he's at those Celtics games hanging out with his loved ones. Oh, he's a completely different person than you see on the sideline.
Outside
of
the press conference
during
the football
season.
But I will tell you this. In the end, what it comes down to is he better win. Because if he don't win, everybody's going to look at Tom Brady and they're going to look at him and say, what have you done? And that's going to be something that will affect him.
But I just have to say one more time, there's a right way and a wrong way to do things. And I don't care what strains happen in relationships or what kind of disappointments, what kind of hurts. You sit down and you look somebody in the eye. Like a man, after 20 years, everything that they've been through, a phone call is
Agreed.
weak.
But this is a business. For Belichick to conduct business as the decisions.
No,
I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying what we've seen from Belichick. This is his MO. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm saying he should treat Brady differently. But he's showing you that he's not going to. So this is right. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised
The only thing I would say, Marcus, real quick, and I'll give you the last word, is this. We don't know if he met with him a month earlier and was like, I want you to get up out of here, to his face. We don't know that. And you got to remember, when this news broke, we didn't know that detail. We're learning it now, more than a year later. So understand when you talk about there's a right way and there's a wrong way, I don't disagree with you, but the conversation that you're talking about, they may have had face to face. And Belichick made it clear
I
at
don't know.
that
Well,
moment.
we're reacting to these
Well-
details
Yeah, I'm just
and
saying,
believing that it's true.
Yeah,
In closure, there was no face-to-face.
No, the
I'm
last
just
one.
telling you. I'm just telling you.
The last one.
How I would feel personally,
Right.
Yeah,
professionally.
for sure.
I would feel disrespected.
Yes. Yeah, he should.
I would want
100%.
eye contact, sit down with someone.
Yeah.
It's a lack of
Marcus.
respect.
That's why he about to put a 50 burger on them Sunday.
Basically.
That's my last word.
I don't think it'll be 50. I think it'll be more like 40, but I'm with you.
All right, still to come on Perk's take. Simmons and Embiid apparently just didn't work on the court together, but Perk says that's not